Growing old isn't a decline, it's a refinement, a sharpening of what really matters, a time when distractions fall away and clarity steps in. But what if no one ever told you the truth about how your body changes, especially in private? I've spent over 25 years working with older adults, men and women in their 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. I've sat beside veterans, grandfathers, retired teachers, and small-town heroes. I've listened to their stories, heard their fears, and helped them reclaim something many thought was gone: vitality, in body, in confidence, and yes, even in intimacy. Now here's what most won't tell you. The way we talk about aging is often wrong. We treat it like a slow fade instead of what it really is: an opportunity to live smarter, stronger, and more connected than ever before. And that includes topics people are still afraid to talk about, like masturbation. Some think it's shameful. Others believe it's unnecessary or even harmful at a certain age. But the truth? Your sexual health doesn't expire. And when understood properly, it can be a powerful tool for maintaining your physical health, emotional balance, and even mental clarity. In this video, I'm going to reveal 4 little-known truths about masturbation that thousands of older men, many just like you, wish they'd known sooner. Because when you understand your body's natural changes, when you learn how to work with them, not against them, you stop feeling confused, you stop feeling alone, and you start feeling strong again. Now, I know the journey might not be easy. You might be feeling a little less energy than you used to. Maybe intimacy feels distant, or maybe your confidence has taken a few hits over the years. But I'm here to tell you this: there are solutions. Natural ones, practical ones, and they work even if you're in your 70s, 80s, or beyond. So before we dive in, I'd love for you to be part of this growing community. Click subscribe, tap the bell icon so you don't miss the next video, and if you find this helpful, hit like and comment below. Type 1 if this video helps you feel more empowered, or 0 if you still have questions. And let me know, what country are you watching from? Your feedback helps shape what I cover next, and it helps me serve you better. Now let's talk about what no one else will, and why it might just change how you feel about your body forever. Let's start with what's really happening beneath the surface. Because when things start to change in the bedroom, or even in your own mind, it's easy to feel like something's wrong. But in reality, these changes are normal, predictable, and in many cases, manageable. Let's begin with testosterone. This hormone gets a lot of attention, and for good reason. Testosterone plays a central role in libido, muscle strength, energy, and yes, sexual arousal. But here's the truth no one explains well. Testosterone does decline with age. Slowly, starting around your 30s and picking up pace after 60. That doesn't mean desire disappears. It just means it may show up differently. Maybe you don't feel that same spark right away. Maybe arousal takes longer. Maybe sensitivity isn't what it used to be. That's not failure, it's physiology. Next up, circulation and nerve health. As we age, our blood vessels don't respond as quickly. The nerves that send pleasure signals may fire a little slower. That's why stimulation might feel different or take longer. It's not about not working. It's about needing a new approach, one with more patience, more understanding, and more intention. And then there's brain chemistry. See, arousal doesn't just come from below the belt. It starts in your brain. Chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin play a major role in desire and satisfaction. And here's where things get interesting. As we age, these chemicals don't flow as freely, especially if we're stressed, isolated, or mentally worn down. Which brings us to something many older men quietly wrestle with: emotion. We don't talk about this enough. The impact of grief, the loss of a partner, the feeling of being invisible, stress, loneliness, even unresolved shame from years past. These things matter. They don't just affect your heart. They affect your hormones, your mood, your drive. So what can you do? I want to give you some simple, natural steps that hundreds of men I've worked with have used to turn things around. First, move your body. Light strength training, or just a brisk 20-minute walk each day, can help stimulate testosterone production naturally. Don't think about working out. Think about waking up your system. Push-ups against a wall, leg lifts in a chair, or lifting soup cans. Every little bit counts. Second, breathe. Before any kind of stimulation, solo or with a partner, try this. Sit still. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, then breathe out slowly. Repeat that for 2 minutes. You're not just calming your body, you're increasing blood flow and oxygen. You're turning down stress and turning up connection. Third, support your nerves. Your nervous system craves nutrients, especially omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium. A handful of walnuts or flaxseed, or even a bit of salmon once or twice a week, can do wonders. Magnesium, found in leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, or a simple supplement, helps relax your blood vessels and soothe your muscles. These aren't magic pills. They're habits, and habits are where change begins. Remember, you're not broken, you're not alone, and you're certainly not finished. Let's keep going because this next secret, it's one most men don't discover until it's almost too late. / narrator voice, Dr. Jake. / empathetic grounded tone. Here's the first thing older men wish they knew. It was never just about performance. I can't count the number of times I've heard it in my office. Doc, I just don't feel like a man anymore. Or, it takes longer now. Something must be wrong with me. But let me say this as clearly as I can. Masculinity is not a stopwatch, and pleasure isn't a race. It's not about how fast, how often, or how hard. It's about connection with your body, with your senses, and sometimes with your soul. You see, many of us were taught, directly or indirectly, that being a man meant performing. Being hard, lasting long, finishing strong. But that mindset creates pressure, and pressure is the enemy of pleasure. What most older men learn too late is that intimacy, even with yourself, isn't about doing, it's about feeling. And that's where mindful masturbation comes in. Now, I know that phrase might sound unfamiliar, even a little uncomfortable, but all it really means is slowing down, being present, not rushing to the finish, but allowing yourself to simply be in your body without judgment. The shift in mindset, it's powerful, it's healing, and it's something every man at any age can learn. Let me share something I've seen time and time again. Men who stop chasing performance and start practicing presence, they begin to enjoy their bodies again. They experience more sensation, not less. And often, they find their confidence returning, not because their body changed, but because their relationship to it did. So how do you start? Let me give you a few practical, real-world steps that have helped my patients reconnect with themselves in a healthier way. First, try a warm bath. Warm water relaxes your muscles, increases circulation, and heightens sensitivity. It turns your attention inward, helps you unwind, and most importantly, it tells your body you're safe, you're cared for. Second, focus on your breath. Not just what's happening physically, but what's happening emotionally. Try breathing slowly, in rhythm, as you explore touch. Inhale through your nose, hold it gently, exhale through your mouth. When your mind starts to race, bring it back to the breath. This practice alone can help reduce anxiety and increase pleasure. Third, create a ritual. Not a habit, a ritual. That means no distractions. No TV, no phone, no rush. Maybe it's lighting a candle. Maybe it's soft music. Maybe it's just locking the door and giving yourself full permission to exist in your own space. You deserve that time, not to perform, but to be present, to reclaim your body from judgment, regret, or shame. You've lived a full life. You've earned your comfort, your peace, your dignity. And here's the real secret. When you stop trying to win at pleasure, you begin to actually feel it again. Coming up next, secret 2, and it's one that clears up so much confusion. How often is too often? And what's the right amount at this stage of life? Let's talk about it. Next, let's talk about how often is too often or not enough. This is one of the most common questions I get from older men. How often should I be doing it? And my honest answer is always the same. There's no magic number. Some men feel great at once a week. Others feel balanced at once a day. And some, they may go a few weeks without it and feel just fine. What really matters is how you feel afterward. Do you feel relaxed, clear-minded, energized? Then chances are your body and mind are in sync. But if you feel drained, agitated, or emotionally low after the fact, it might not be about desire at all. It might be about stress. Because here's what we now understand through research. When masturbation becomes a reflexive way to cope with boredom, anxiety, or loneliness, it can lose its nourishing effect and start to feel hollow. And too much of it, especially done without intention, can become a symptom of emotional restlessness, not real desire. On the flip side, too little stimulation for long periods can bring its own set of issues. The prostate, a small gland that plays a big role in male health, actually benefits from regular activity. Several studies suggest that men who ejaculate moderately, around 2 to 4 times a week, may have a lower risk of prostate problems, including inflammation and even cancer. Regular ejaculation also supports better sleep, stress relief by lowering cortisol levels, a slight immune boost from temporary hormonal changes. This doesn't mean you need to start tracking your frequency on a calendar, but it does mean that masturbation, done mindfully, could be a useful part of your overall wellness routine. So let's talk about a few ways to do this in a way that's healthy, not guilt-driven. First, aim for intentionality. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to, or because I'm just trying to escape a feeling? There's nothing wrong with using self-pleasure to unwind. Just make sure it's about caring for yourself, not numbing out. Second, stay hydrated. You'd be surprised how often dryness, discomfort, or sensitivity changes are simply due to dehydration. Drink plenty of water throughout the day and use a natural lubricant, preferably one that's fragrance-free and gentle on skin. It makes a big difference, especially as skin becomes more delicate with age. Third, track how you feel after. This is a simple but powerful practice. For 1 week, jot down a few notes after each time you masturbate. Did you feel relaxed? Guilty? Energized? Sleepy? Patterns will start to emerge, and those patterns will help you decide what's working and what's not. Remember, the goal here is not frequency. The goal is fulfillment. Are you using your time to recharge your body? To reconnect with yourself? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right path. And now, secret 3. And this one might surprise you. Masturbation isn't just about your own body, because even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, connection still matters. Let's talk about how. You're never too old for connection, and you're never alone. If there's one thing I wish I could tell every man over 60, it's this. The need for connection doesn't fade with age. It deepens. We may slow down physically. We may lose a partner, or find ourselves alone for the first time in years. But the need to be seen, to be touched, to feel known, that never goes away. And here's the truth. Masturbation isn't a replacement for connection. It can be a part of it, even within a relationship. I've had men in their 70s and 80s come to me worried. Is it wrong to still touch myself if I'm with someone? Shouldn't I stop now that I'm married again? And I always tell them the same thing. Intimacy takes many forms. And solo pleasure doesn't take away from a relationship. It can actually bring you closer. Because when you understand your own needs, when you feel comfortable in your own body, you bring more openness, more confidence, more gentleness into every shared moment. Let me tell you a story. A man named Walter, 78 years old, came to see me a few years back. He'd been widowed for over a decade. Thought intimacy was part of his past. Then he met someone. Her name was Janice. They were both nervous, both healing. Walter told me, "Doc, I don't even know how to start again. My hands shake just holding hers." We talked about slowing down, about being present, about rediscovering himself before trying to rediscover someone else. He started journaling his thoughts after moments of self-pleasure. Not about the act itself, but the feelings around it. And little by little, he stopped feeling ashamed. He started feeling connected. 3 months later, Walter brought Janice to my office. They held hands the entire time. And as he left, he said something I'll never forget. Turns out, I didn't need to get younger. I just needed to get braver. That's the power of connection. It's not about what your body can or can't do. It's about how you show up with honesty, with curiosity, with heart. So how do you bring this into your life? Here are some practical ways to deepen that sense of connection, whether you're in a relationship, hoping to be, or simply learning to reconnect with yourself. First, try journaling. Not about performance or frequency, but about feelings. What came up for you afterward? Was there comfort? Sadness? A longing for more touch? Putting it into words helps you better understand your needs and helps release any shame that might still be lingering. Second, talk to someone you trust. That could be a close friend, a support group, or a therapist. You'd be amazed how many men your age have the same questions, the same fears, and just need someone to say it out loud first. You're not the only one wondering, and you're certainly not the only one healing. Third, if you have a partner, invite intimacy slowly. That might start with a gentle conversation, not about sex, but about closeness. Start with holding hands during a walk, sitting closer on the couch, sharing a memory. Touch doesn't have to be sexual to be powerful. It just has to be intentional. Remember, connection doesn't require perfection. It just requires presence. And your presence, my friend, still holds more power than you know. Coming up next, our final secret, the one that ties it all together. Because ultimately, this isn't just about sex or self-touch. It's about health, dignity, and living fully. Let's talk about why all of this is actually a path to better aging. This final secret may be the most powerful of all. Your body is still worthy. It doesn't matter what the magazines say. It doesn't matter what younger men brag about. And it certainly doesn't matter how much softer, rounder, or slower your body has become. Because wrinkles? They're the proof that you've lived. Scars? They're medals, earned from experience. And softness? That's the body finally relaxing, no longer needing to fight. But for many older men, this is the hardest truth to accept. I've seen it too often. Men who've weathered wars, raised families, built careers, and still feel embarrassed when they look in a mirror. There's this quiet shame tucked beneath the surface. Who will want this body now? Why even bother? Let me be clear. You bother because you're still here. Because this body, right now, is still yours. And it still deserves care, respect, and yes, even pleasure. Masturbation, in this light, becomes more than a physical act. It becomes an act of self-love, of choosing to stay connected with the one person who has walked through every chapter with you, yourself. Let me share the story of Tom, a retired Army vet I met during a community wellness talk. Tom had survived 2 deployments, a heart attack and the death of his spouse. He told me, "I didn't touch my body for years. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't think it deserved that kind of attention anymore." Then, at 74, he had a second health scare, a mild stroke that shook him. That experience changed something. He began to take short walks again. He started writing gratitude notes each night. And one day, he stood in front of the mirror and said, "This is the only body I've got, and I'm done apologizing for it." He began reconnecting with himself, slowly, gently, not to chase youth, but to honor life. And do you know what he said the last time I saw him? "I used to think pleasure was for the young. Now I see it was always for the grateful." So how can you start reclaiming that sense of worth? Let me offer you a few powerful, simple tools. First, mirror work. Each day, spend just 60 seconds looking at your body in the mirror. Not to criticize it, but to witness it. Touch your chest. Look at your hands. Say, "This is my body. It has carried me." No judgment, just awareness. Second, affirmations and gratitude journaling. Write 1 sentence a day about something your body can do. "I can walk. I can feel warmth. I'm still here." It rewires your mind to focus on abundance, not loss. Third, choose comfort and dignity. Stop comparing your body to a younger version of yourself. You're not meant to go backward. You're meant to go deeper. What feels good? Move how you want to move. Create rituals that feel kind, not critical. Your worth does not expire, and neither does your capacity for love, touch, or pleasure. You have nothing to prove. You have everything to gain. You made it through decades of change, hardship, joy, and growth. So why not own every part of it, including your right to intimacy, solo or shared? Masturbation is not something to hide from. It's normal. It's natural. And when practiced with intention, it can support your mental clarity, your emotional balance, even your physical health. But more than that, it's a reminder that even now, your body belongs to you, and it's still a source of peace, power, and pleasure. This journey is not about chasing perfection. It's about cultivating connection and finding joy, not in who you used to be, but in who you've become. If this video brought you insight or comfort, please like it. If you got questions or a story to share, drop it in the comments. I read every one. And if you're ready for more empowering health wisdom, hit that subscribe button. Because aging isn't the end, it's the upgrade. You are strong, you are wise, and you are worthy, exactly as you are.